I'm probably jinxing myself by doing an intro, but it's whatever. That seems to be how it goes here lately. Anyway, I was actually up here yesterday, which I'm up here on the river, the little honey hole where I caught a snot load of crappie in a couple videos ago. The water's back up, and yesterday I was up here, bluebird skies, nice, good, clear weather. Didn't catch snot besides bait, but we're back up here today, and as you can tell, it's not exactly bluebird skies, which is my preferred weather for catfishing. Anyway, changing up my rod selection a little bit, and I think that's one reason why I've been missing a few of the catfish that I know have been biting here lately. So we're going to use a little bit lighter rods, a little bit smaller hooks. Let's quit yapping and get down here, catch some bait, get some lines out. Anyway, the rods we're going to use today instead of my heavier Mad Catz rods is an old school ugly stick, 7-foot medium heavy, with just a bass reel and 14 pounds Cajun red, and a Rippin lip 7/6 medium light with a bass reel and 14 pound Cajun red. And the rig, stupidly simple, one of the simplest catfish rigs ever. It's a knocker rig, basically functions like a Carolina rig, but you don't have a swivel, you don't have a leader line. But we're using 4/0 Whisker Seeker triple threats, a little bit smaller hook than I have been using. I've been using like 6 and 8/0, so hopefully it doesn't take as long today to catch bait as it did yesterday. And yesterday, and I still kind of see it, there was a really big dead catfish laying right down there. It was probably 10-12 pound flathead. Scrappy redbreast. Chill. Chill, 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 chill. You got a lot of color on you. Alright. Real pretty fish. We'll get it back. Also, while I'm thinking about it, if you're fishing from the bank like I am, or even from a boat, this applies to that too. The angle at which your rod is, pointed, plays a lot in how the fish are going to feel the resistance from the rod. If it's sticking straight up, they're going to feel that resistance a lot quicker. If it's at an angle, it's going to be more liable to give a little bit, bend some, and keep them interested in taking your bait down. But yeah, if you're getting a lot of strikes from catfishing, they're just not committing to it, drop down your rod size or your rod power. Like that one there is a medium heavy, but being an ugly stick, it might as well be a medium light, because everybody knows the ugly sticks are basically noodles. They're real tip soft, and the Rippin Lips Super Cat medium light is basically the same way. It's just got a little bit better tip section, but that softer tip, they're not going to feel that resistance nearly as easily, so they're going to be a little bit more willing to commit to a bite. I've got bait now. Feels pretty dang good too. What do we got? Hey, is that what I think it is? It most certainly is, and you are going to make fine bait. Fine bait. White bass. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there. Love me some white bass. They make really good catfish bait, and they are really good to eat. So I'm gonna get this thing processed real quick, and get some rods out. Alright, since we're using a little bit smaller hooks, and the few times that I've been bit and got my bait back, I've noticed they weren't able to get the baits in their mouth real well. So I've got some little cubed up pieces of white bass. What I did was just, cut it from the top down and then cut the belly pouch out. That way, got little nugget sized pieces. It'd be easier for the smaller channel cats to get in. They little mouth. Ah, shit. I'll get you in a second. And if you never use circle hooks, always clean your hook points, your barbs and all that off, so that you've got as much hook point exposed as possible. Alright, sanitize our hands by wiping the nastiness on our pants leg. Alright, we're gonna give her a full send way down Yan way. Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, where it gets harder than a hoochie coochie. I fully expect that one, if not both of them, to bounce down a ways, because we still have a little bit of current, but I'm only using like 1.5 ounce egg weights, which are not ideal for fishing in any kind of current. I don't know, they seem to be holding okay. Anyway, we're going to cast around here to see what all we can catch for the heck of it and pass the time. And something down yonder swimming across the river. I'm curious. Ooh, what do we got? What do we have? Dude, that was 100% unexpected. If you were a little bit bigger, I'd keep you to eat you. Big old red ear. That one's every bit of probably 8-9 inches. Get you back. It has a little bit of a belly flop, but it wasn't from 20 feet up, so it's not too bad. I do have to watch because there is a stump right there, kind of not really halfway between those stumps and this one right here, but a little bit closer to this side. But I don't need to snag any more jig heads. I've done enough of that in the last couple of days. There we go. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about right yonder. Pretty fish. These things fight so freaking hard for their size. A lot of people call them sand bass and whatnot. I mean, it's a regional thing, but they're actually white bass. The heck was that? I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but it almost sounded like a very, very minor earthquake. Almost kind of a tubular sound, which made me look over there at the thing, see if something was bouncing down it. But the ground started shaking. Did I just experience an earthquake while fishing? You are going to be bait refreshing. Even though I still got some white bass up there, it's early in the afternoon, so I'm going to save you, and I'm going to go ahead and change these other two out. Where can I put you that you ain't going to flop all over the place and get away? Prime spot. Right there underneath my backpack. Nothing seems to be going on with these two. Something definitely chewed on it. Hey. That one just got some attention. Hey, we finally caught something. It's been a hot minute since we've caught some fish, or a fish. Chill. I may give this spot just a few minutes longer and maybe run up to the crappie spot. It's not real far from here. Really? It's been cloudy all day long and you decide to show up now? That's rude. Alright, well, the bite pretty much died off at the first spot we were at, so we're back up here at the crappie spot. I want to give it probably 45 minutes to an hour. See what happens. I just got a little bit of stuff with me. I really didn't want to drag down a bunch of crap, so let's get down here and get to fishing. Ooh. a crappie with a visitor that unfortunately got back in the water. That is a big old juicy female crappie. I was about to keep you, but you full of eggs. And I'm sorry, it might ruffle somebody's feathers, but if you catch a female crappie that's just full of eggs, do that. You're doing yourself and everybody else a favor by doing that. Hey, what's that? Probably something that, yep, that's exactly what it is. Big old gold shiner. Why am I not surprised? They fight hard, but you can only catch so many of these stinking things before you're sick of them. Oh, that's large. And it's off. Son of a F word. You know what? That crappie has a freaking lamprey marker on its head, and that's where that's where the lamprey was on the first one I caught. I just caught hooked the same crappie twice in like 10 minutes. I've had that happen with bluegill and stuff, but I have never in my life caught the same crappie or hooked the same crappie in just a few minutes. What do I have? I have a pretty hefty bluegill. Well, if you hadn't started squirming, I would have got you in there a lot more gracefully, but you banged your head on a rock and then on a stick. Well, I believe I'm going to call it quits. The bite just shut down completely. The wind started picking up really, really bad and just never did let up. Anyway, caught a couple of crappie, and the same crappie twice. It's funny. Caught it, it had the lamprey right there on top of its head, and just a few minutes later, catch the same crappie again, which second time didn't count because, well, it wouldn't have counted the second time anyway because it was the same crappie. But anyway, I've been throwing a couple of extra catfish rods in my vehicle to have a little bit of variety for, you know, different situations, and I'm starting to see more and more catfish like action. But going into April, they're finally starting to let the water up a little bit, and it's starting to warm up, and catfish are starting to get a little bit more active. So hopefully I can get some catfish content on here as soon as possible, because, you know, I like my crappie, I like catching them, I like cooking them and eating them, but at the same time, I miss my catfish. I miss having to fight to get a fish in. Anyway, thanks for watching.